Good morning, everybody. It's the 18th day of June 2025. I have a very simple question indeed to ponder today, and that is, will the Irish race actually survive into the future? At the moment, we're seeing another race, the Jewish people. They are struggling to survive. We'll also see whether they survive much longer as well. The next 2 days will determine their fate, I believe. But anyway, getting back to the Irish situation, which is what I am focusing on today. Another video was posted yesterday by my friend Brian, and a commenter left a comment that was very important. He said that we all understand that protests and likewise activities are not the solution whatsoever. I suspect he was referencing maybe more sturdy responses. Well, I'm going to give the solution very quickly now. There's a lot of people with this, that, and the other saying, but the solution of this problem is very, very simple. It's straightforward. To solve the immigration crisis into Ireland, you just need to do one, two, three little things. Very easy. One, stop giving these people free money, housing, subsidies, and the like. That is the one first thing you will do. Second thing you will do is you will enforce the laws on these people coming in, exactly as you enforce the laws on everybody else. I have seen a lot of people complain about Ukrainians coming in, driving cars with no tax, insurance, inspection procedures, etc., etc., etc. There was one example given that somebody spotted a Chevrolet Camaro on the streets of Ireland. Chevrolet Camaro, for those that are not aware of Chevy Camaros, that might be referred to as a muscle car, and it most certainly has plenty of muscle. That engine size in that is 6.2 litres, I am told. My car is 5.4. This thing is 6.2. A regular little car in Ireland is 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. 2 litre cars classed as a very big car because the taxes upon its carbon emissions is very high, etc. But yet, these fellows can drive 6.2 litre cars in Ireland at no detrimental cost to them whatsoever. So, one, stop giving them money. Two, enforce the laws like it's forced on everybody else. And when that is done, the following day, then you can slightly adjust our tax system in Ireland to recognise these people as guests in this country. Should they be working, the small percentage that are working, you can do what our good friends in the Islamic faith insists upon, which is to tax a small percentage, not very great, 10% extra, whatever, on these people who proclaim that they really want to be Irish and they wish to live in Ireland. Well, there's nothing in life free. So if I wish to live in Ireland, I think I'd be willing to pay a small little tax for that beautiful welcoming. Céad míle fáilte. Welcome. Come on in. Work away. You have to pay a 10% tax, and you are now a guest in this country. And you will never be a citizen, and that is how a proper society would function. It is not complicated, it is simple. Job done. 1 month later, you would have Ireland transformed and greatly improved, in my opinion. Now, why anybody isn't saying this simple thing is a mystery, but there is 15 mysteries, and this could be described as one of the sorrowful mysteries because it's a sorrowful thing that nobody can come up with this. I have been watching some protests of late, and it is cause for alarm. because they're going from bad to ridiculous. I was watching the Limerick one. It was a feed that was being broadcast by Niall McConnell up in Donegal. He had some fellow down there with a camera. He's in Donegal. He's commenting in a little picture in a picture. We had a lady list a long line of heroes that came out of Limerick. One of those heroes that came out of Limerick, according to her, was Michael D. O'Higgins. I'm watching this. I can't believe my eyes. I'm watching Niall O'Connell. He cannot believe his ears. And he said, did she just say that Michael D. Higgins was a hero? And yes, she did. Okay, well, what can you say to this? As if that wasn't bad enough, then you had a speaker that came on from Poland with a very poor grasp of the English language. She's been here 20 years. She cannot speak English properly. Indeed, a lot of people that have been here 70 years cannot speak it either. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What that tells a person, if they have any common sense whatsoever, is that this person from Poland is living in a Polish enclave and they only speak Polish amongst themselves and they have no great intention of learning English, and of course they have zero intention at all of learning Irish. But that is a warning sign that these people view themselves as Polish. They don't view themselves as Irish. No different than I would view myself as Polish. If I went to live in Poland, it would be a very Polish thing to do for an Irish person to go to live in Poland, indeed. And she says, her exact words is, this is not about race. When she said this, Niall McConnell exclaimed in surprise and shock. He says, well, if it's not about race, well, what is it about? And that is a very good question indeed, Niall McConnell up there in Donegal. Kudos to you. It's as simple as that. Is it about race or is it not? If it's not about race, what the heck are these people moaning about and giving out about? Well, that's another mystery. It's not a joyful mystery though. It must be one of the other mysteries. Then you have, I saw two young people, teenagers, two nice girls. They were Africans, etc. That was okay. One of these supposed leaders of the nationalist movement, he speaks to them and, oh, it's great you're Irish. He gives them two Irish tricolours. I asked the question, what the heck is this guy doing leading marches in Dublin with 30,000 people against immigrants coming in, when in fact, according to him, everybody is Irish. This guy should hang up his hat, especially if it's one of these American baseball caps, and just go home and forget about it and go to night classes and learn a bit of Irish or learn German or something, learn anything. But he's wasting his time, and even more importantly, he's wasting everybody else's time as well. People have to decide whether they want to do what needs to be done to survive as a race, just as the Israelis are doing today. Hate the Israelis or admire the Israelis or anything in between, you just recognize that this is a group of people that is fighting for survival, and they're doing what needs to be done to survive. Somewhat, in many regards, I admire them for being highly intelligent and crafty and conniving, maybe, to be in a position where they can control the most powerful military the universe has ever seen and use somebody else's military to defeat their enemies. Now, if the Irish could only have that wisdom, they'll be well on the road to recovery. While this is all going on, you have a different situation up in Northern Ireland, up there in Ballymena and surrounding areas. When that violence broke out, you had a lot of people on Facebook that would be with many followers, and they're seen as the voices of wisdom, etc. And they are saying this is awful, this is bigotry, this is racist, we cannot stoop this low, we are just savages. Unfortunately, we live in a savage world. If you want to ask people, are a group of people going to survive? I would ask them, did the Etruscans survive? Now, for those that do not know who the Etruscans were, well, you can Google it. But they did not survive because the more powerful new people coming in displaced them. They, of course, were the Romans. And you'll be very hard pressed to find an Etruscan walking around Italy today because they are gone. Ciao, as they say in Italy. You can also see the same thing about the Wampanoag natives here in Massachusetts. They actually welcomed the English in. Of course, if they had a crystal ball or if they had any common sense, they would have just exterminated the English when they had the chance. In the first winter, they were reduced to 51 people, men, women, and children. The reason they didn't exterminate them is because, well, it's a long story, but they wanted to be nice guys, I guess. They give these pilgrims their equivalent of a green card and come on in and we'll show you how to plant corn, etc. There's a bit of a trick to planting corn in Massachusetts. For those that do not know, you've got to fertilize the soil by putting a type of fish called an alewife down with the seed, etc. That's just one of the examples of how the natives helped in their own destruction. And now, of course, walking around Massachusetts, it's not very common to encounter a Wampanoag native. You've got to actually seek them out. They're so scarce that in reenactments they use other tribes from all over the place. I was down in Plymouth one day and I was talking to a fellow. He was a Wampanoag, but of course, when I asked him closely and when he recognized I had some knowledge of Native American affairs, he of course told me he was not a Wampanoag at all. He was a Mohawk. Mohawks are up in upstate New York, and because the Wampanoags are all gone. You can say the same about the Picts, Picts. You can say the same thing about the Aztecs, the Malay, Mayan civilization, the Incas. They're all wiped out. So up in Northern Ireland, in Ballymena, you have a group of people there that are staunch. Some people call them bigots or whatever. Be that as it may. But they see their future being eliminated and they will try to drive out the invaders. And that's just what happens in civilization, such as it is. You see it with the Israelis, they're going to drive out the in what they perceive as invaders. They don't want them, and they're going to use whatever means. Up in Northern Ireland, those people up there are making an attempt to actually drive them out. That's just how history works. Down in the south, the question is, do they have that aspect of their character that will just force them into making decisive actions? Now, the actions that I initially laid out, they're not violent at all. They're just common sense. Economically, you will actually preserve your civilization by putting your people, the Irish people, at an economic advantage to the other people coming in, and they will survive. At the moment, it is the exact opposite. Of course, the Irish people are put at a deliberate economic disadvantage in housing, taxes, fees, licenses, everything. And that is the situation. Now, I like to keep these little short and sweet. It's already gone 14 minutes. But that is the solution to the Irish problem. It's an economic solution. It does not take much. It could be done overnight. To do that, you must get rid of the present government because they will not change their mind in midstream. Unfortunately, that will not happen without an election. And even if there was an election tomorrow, they would still be voted in because we have not reached the stage yet where the Irish are at a point where their redemption can be attained. But it will get to that point because the money is going to run out very quickly. They paid $143 million for euros for a hotel yesterday or whatever. Money for them, nothing for the Irish. Thank you very much for watching.